There's a lonely dirt intersection in Clarksdale, Mississippi, where the highway meets the dust. If you stand there at midnight, the locals say you can hear a faint, crying sound vibrating through the humid air. It is the sound of a guitar. But not just any guitar. In the 1930s, a young mediocre musician walked into those crossroads with a cheap acoustic instrument. According to legend, he met a tall, dark man who took the guitar, tuned it, and handed it back. From that exact moment, the boy could play the blues with a terrifying, otherworldly genius. His name was Robert Johnson, but the devil never gives anything away for free. Johnson died tragically at the age of 27, launching the infamous 27 Club. His music changed history, but the physical guitar he held in those rare, surviving photographs vanished into thin air. For nearly a century, a dark rumor has followed his legacy, that the specific model he played carries a devastating curse. This is the story of Robert Johnson's Gibson L-1 and the terrifying price paid by those who tried to possess its ghost. Before Robert Johnson became a god of the Delta blues, he was a nuisance. Older musicians like Sunhouse remembered him as a kid who would pick up their guitars during intermission and make a horrible, scratching noise. He simply didn't have the talent. Then, Johnson disappeared for several months. When he returned to the Mississippi juke joints, he stepped onto the stage, uncased his guitar, and struck a chord. The audience went dead silent. His fingers moved like spiders. He was playing bass lines, rhythm, and lead melodies all at the exact same time, a technique that sounded like three men playing at once. Sunhouse would later say in interviews, he must have sold his soul to the devil to play like that. The tool for this black magic was a 1926 Gibson L-1. It was a small-bodied acoustic guitar with a round bottom and a dark, moody, sunburst finish. It wasn't designed for heavy volume, but in Johnson's hands, it wailed. He kept his tuning a strict secret, often turning his back to the audience so no one could see how his fingers moved or how his guitar was altered. But the fame was short-lived. In August 1938, the curse claimed its first victim. Johnson was playing at a country dance when he drank from an open bottle of whiskey, allegedly poisoned with strychnine by a jealous husband. He died in agony 3 days later. He left behind only 29 songs, 2 photographs, and a missing guitar. After Johnson's death, his original Gibson L-1 disappeared. Some say it was buried with him in an unmarked grave. Others believe it was stolen from his room while he lay dying. But the mystery didn't end with the theft. It was just the beginning. In the decades that followed, the 1926 Gibson L-1 became a cursed object among high-end collectors and blues historians. Because Gibson only made this specific shape for a few years, finding an exact match to Robert Johnson's guitar is incredibly rare. And according to vintage instrument dealers, those who became obsessed with tracking down or replicating Johnson's exact setup started experiencing bizarre, tragic strings of bad luck. Take the story of a prominent European collector who managed to buy a pristine 1926 L-1 from the exact same production batch as Johnson's. Within months of acquiring the guitar, his private vault suffered a catastrophic electrical fire. Strangely, while most of his collection survived with minor smoke damage, the L-1 was burned to absolute ash. Another collector in the American South spent years trying to authenticate a guitar he believed was the actual, stolen instrument Johnson held. He became heavily obsessed, spending his entire life savings on forensic testing and private investigators. Just days before he was scheduled to present his findings to a major museum, he was killed in a freak head-on car collision. The guitar, which was in the trunk of his car, was never recovered from the crash site. It vanished again. Even modern guitarists speak of the L-1 with a strange kind of reverence and fear. Many blues players believe that trying to copy Johnson's exact style and using the specific 1926 model invites the dark energy of the Crossroads into your life. It's a psychological haunting. The guitar forces you into a corner. Its dark, woody tone is so deeply tied to tragedy, pain, and early death that it becomes impossible to separate the instrument from the myth. Eric Clapton, who recorded an entire tribute album to Johnson, once described his music as the most powerful cry that I think you can find in the human voice. But even the world's greatest players treat the original Delta blues myth with respect. You don't mess with the Crossroads. Somewhere out there, perhaps in a dusty attic in Mississippi or a hidden vault in Europe, sits a small 100-year-old Gibson acoustic guitar. It looks harmless, but it carries the DNA of the blues, and perhaps the signature of something far darker. Would you dare to play a chord on Robert Johnson's lost Gibson, or is the legend of the Crossroads too real to risk? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love the dark, untold secrets of music history, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and watch your step at the crossroads.